Now, y'all know when Freeze chopping and popping with y'all, whether I'm being comedic or whether I'm being critical or anything else on the spectrum, I do my best to apply game to the situation so that I can help you grow, evolve, and ultimately become better, not just for yourself, but for your people. With that being said, let's chop it and pop this game one time, you dig? Do me a favor and wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. Let's go.
If you want all this pimping you can't afford, perform like a punk but want a winner's reward. Some suckers give you points but bitch you never scored. If you ain't paying pimping then bitch you getting ignored. Okay, I'm so sick of these.
So I'm cruising these IG streets, man, and I come across a young lady by the name of Ebony Davis. Now, Ebony is currently hot all over the internet right now due to a 5-figure brand deal that she lost as a result of posting something to her social media account, particularly Instagram. And she has a rather interesting stance on the situation. With no further ado, let's get into it.
I'd like to take a minute to discuss the harsh reality that Black content creators face.
Now, immediately, a pimp smell bullshit, man. But I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and let her continue.
I recently lost out on a 5-figure brand deal for posting this picture with this caption.
Okay, so she posts this picture with that caption, and she lost out on a 5-figure brand deal. And she's surprised, she's appalled, she's shocked. But let's continue.
Nowhere in the contract were there any stipulations given around what kind of content I could post, except for the branded content, which would be approved by the company. As for my personal content, nothing was said.
Man, these idiot savannah-ass chicks out here, man, can be so smart and so stupid at the same time. But let's continue.
After posting that picture and posting that caption, I received a phone call from my agent saying that the company thought it was inappropriate. And I just want to take a second to unpack that.
While you unpacking that, you need to unpack your dumbass mind and rearrange, because obviously your mind is stuffed with a bunch of bullshit. You need to unpack your mind and rearrange that thing. But let's continue.
When I read that caption, I read a playful articulation of the love I have for my man.
Well, you're reading the wrong thing. You need to read the fact that you're a goofball and you want everybody to take your profession more seriously than you do. Let's continue.
It's been generally agreed upon by the Black community for decades that the N-word isn't derogatory, it's a term of endearment.
Yeah, in the Black community, it's a term of endearment, but in the world of business, it's a black eye. It's not a good look. There's a time and place for everything, and social media is not the time and place for everything, especially when you're involved in business.
And that brings us to the photo. Yet again, when I look at this picture, I see playfulness. I see a Black girl living her best life, having fun. There's nothing inappropriate about it to me.
Yeah, key word to what you said. There's nothing inappropriate about it to you. But you are not the only one involved in what you're doing. So you have to consider more than just yourself, your selfish ass.
Especially not in the world we live in today. For centuries, Black women's bodies have been scrutinized, they've been picked apart, they've been deemed unworthy, they've been deemed inappropriate, and this is yet again an extension of that rhetoric.
Now see, this is where she's starting to piss me off. This is where I always get upset, man. When these chicks try to hide behind blackness and try to hide behind historical events to play the victim role, when really you was just stupid.
It's the hypersexualization of the Black female body which has led to this very conversation.
What about the hyper foolishness of your damn mind? Why you keep stepping over that? Why you keep doing the Barry Sanders with that? Why you keep doing the spin move with that?
The only way someone else could deem this as inappropriate is if they projected their sexual desires onto me, or if they projected their underlying judgments onto me, which is what we call prejudice.
No, how about they see that as unprofessional? How about they want to protect their interest, which is their business? How about that doesn't stand in line with what they represent? And if you're going to be representing them, then you have to stand in line with what they represent. And if you don't, you get cut off, as we see.
Now, typically I would brush that off and say that's a you problem, but it becomes a me problem because it threatens my livelihood, just the same way these systems of oppression have threatened the livelihood of Black women for centuries.
You are the biggest threat to your own livelihood. That's what you don't get. That's what you keep stepping over.
Furthermore, you want access to my audience, which is mostly Black women, without actually having a full appreciation for Black culture. Why is it that what's considered appropriate or professional is always adjacent to whiteness?
No, it's not adjacent to whiteness. What's appropriate and professional is appropriate and professional. And what is not appropriate and professional is you showing your backside and having the caption that you had in the picture showing your backside. That is not adjacent to professionalism, and it has nothing to do with whiteness.
You want the activist part of me that's articulate and intelligent.
No, you're not an You are not a damn activist. Stop that. Stop trying to play this role because you lost out on a bag. Boy, these chicks be killing me.
But that's just one side of my black girl magic.
This ain't got nothing to do with black girl magic. This ain't got nothing to do with magic. This ain't got nothing to do with no black girl. This got everything to do with your dumb ass being stupid and you just so happen to be black. But it has nothing to do with being black and it has nothing to do with magic.
Because the other side of me knows how to turn up and throw this ass. And that's what I'm gonna do. We don't have to separate who we are in order to please these companies. We don't have to erase or hide any aspect of our personality in order to get these bags. If you can't handle me at my back that ass up, you don't deserve me at my I have a dream.
Oh my goodness. Y'all can't see Freeze right now, man, but Freeze is punching the air hard as hell at what this girl just said. Oh my goodness, I'm doing my best not to have a heart attack right now. See, this is what kills me about so many young black females in today's times, quote unquote, modern black females. There is no accountability. That beautiful articulate speech that you just gave was laced with all kinds of things, but the one missing ingredient in that recipe for bull is accountability. When are you going to hold yourself accountable? When are you going to be woman enough to say, you know what? I made a mistake. I f***ed up. That was a mistake that you made. See, we live in a time now where there are so many examples of people getting fired because of things that they put on social media. People losing their business because of things that they said or put on social media. It doesn't have to stipulate in the contract every aspect of your life in order for you to abide by what makes sense. At the end of the day, you have to make sense with what you do. And you making that post with that caption doesn't make sense to your business. You should understand, okay, you call yourself a quote unquote Instagram model, which means your Instagram account is your business, which means you should be professional with your business, especially when you have business ventures going on with other businesses. The problem is this chick has no accountability and she tries to hide behind the fact that she's a young black woman and use that to justify herself playing the victim. And this is the problem with today's world. Everyone praises the victim. And young women understand that. They understand that they get more praise, more support, more everything by playing the victim role than they do if they play the courageous role, the admirable role, the accountable role. So as long as people on social media coddle everyone who plays the victim role, young females like this will never start taking accountability for when they make mistakes. Now, have black women been oppressed? Yes. Have black women been objectified? Yes. Have black women been dished a raw deal? Yes. But this has nothing to do with that. You can't play the role and present things as though you are infallible, without blemish, without spot, without blame, and you were just done wrong. That's false. You made a mistake. And obviously, by the way that you speak, you are not stupid. You're just conveniently playing the black role in order to justify your victim role. This is a prime example of somebody being black by convenience. And that whole back that ass up, I have a dream. Oh my goodness. How stupid can you be? How ignorant can you be? That's the shit that kills me, man. But the bottom line, this type of stuff is gonna keep happening until masses of people, especially men and other women, start holding these types of women accountable for their mistakes. I ain't looked on the internet all over, but I'm pretty sure it's a whole bunch of other black women on the bandwagon with this chick like, that's right, sister. That's right. You tell them, girl. You ain't do nothing wrong. That's the world that we live in today. That's the wrong message to this chick, though. She needs to be held accountable. She needs to hold herself accountable. She needs to see things through realistic lenses. She needs to look at the reality of this for what it is. And the bottom line is, you made a mistake. And the cold part about it, she still got the post up on her Instagram page right now, as though she didn't make a mistake. So moving forward, she's going to move forward without correcting this part about herself, without correcting this point in life about herself, which means she's got the same mindset moving forward that allowed her to make this mistake, which means she could make the same mistake moving forward instead of stopping here, looking at this for what it is, correcting herself and moving forward. This young lady is a prime example of somebody who has the power to use her voice on social media and doesn't deserve that that power. Not everybody deserves the power to speak to masses of people, because a lot of people use that power irresponsibly. And this is a prime example of somebody using that power irresponsibly. This is your opportunity to be big, and you're being microscopic. You're being tiny. This is your opportunity to show people a commendable response to that stimulus, to what happened to you and how you brought it on yourself, how your decision making, your poor decision making brought this on yourself. Instead of teaching young black women that it's okay to be stupid even when you lose out on business and threaten your own livelihood, that it's okay because you're young and black women been oppressed and objectified and hypersexualized and all this bullshit. This is what you're teaching young black women. This is the example that you're setting before young black women, when you need to be setting the example of, hey, young black sister, don't be like me. I was foolish. I made a dumb decision, and as the result of that dumb decision, I lost out on business. So moving forward, this is how I'm going to be, and this is how you should be. Don't do what I did. Don't be like me. But hey, that's Freeze's take on it. Y'all swan dive in that comment section. Let me know what y'all think, and let that marinate on your mind one time. Freeze is it. Put some love in your body, and I'll holler.
Now come and take a sip of this game. Pour it down your ear and let it drip to your brain so you can run it up, run it up.
Expensive homie,
and we'll be coming up, really coming up. Take a sip of this game, let it saturate your brain. Taylor, make your homework so we can match it with my name. Then attach it to your frame, right? Now you game tight.
Ready, set, ho.
You gon' check her back the same night. Now you breaking tricks and